JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 14th of July 2021. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, as always, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yes, check us out here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top, guys. So now then, jumping into the charts, the first one I want to quickly pick up here on is Nikkei. So we continue to kind of oscillate around the two EMAs here, the 21-day and the 100-day EMA. So yeah, not much is happening, although it kind of still stays on the slightly on the positive side here in the near term, because we remain above some of these key support levels, and to be honest, it's not much to talk about here because the same game plan remains. And what I said to you, that if it stays somewhere above all the EMAs, then we will continue aiming for this downside line. But given that we fell below it, I'll take a bit of a cautious approach here. Nevertheless, that doesn't mean that the upside is off the table. For me to consider the downside, what I would need to see here is a drop below this 27,385 territory right here, and then yes, we could consider maybe lower levels. But at the moment, guys, it is a difficult one, I would say. So for now, probably just continue observing these two EMAs. If we climb back above it, then this increases the chances for Nikkei to drift higher a little bit here towards this downside resistance line, and then we'll take it from there. Now jumping into Hong Kong's Seng index, and here we can see that the lower side of the rising channel, this previous rising channel where the index was trading in, this rising channel, the lower side of it continues to hold, and it continues to provide resistance. So something like this is how it looks basically. So for now, I would say that although we had a good move higher here, well, let's see if this this area here, this lower side of the rising channel, will continue to provide resistance. If it does, then yep, another slide here could be possible, guys. Especially if the price starts falling somewhere below. Let me just put this one on the chart very quickly. Somewhere below this little hurdle here. This hurdle here, the 27,500 zone, and if we fall below that, then well, I'll aim for that current lowest point of July again, near the 26,862 zone. For the upside, what I need here is I need to see a push at least back above the 28,326 territory right here in order to get a little bit more comfortable with the upside. The German index, DAX, and yesterday again, let me just quickly double check. I think yes, we failed to hit a new all-time high, but we came very, very close to it. So Now the way I'm going to look at this, of course, is the fact that we struggled to overcome the current all-time high yesterday. Well, I'm gonna be a little bit careful, because maybe we could see something like this that I mentioned to you yesterday. That if it struggles to push through that level, then maybe a bit of a setback here could be possible towards the 21-day EMA initially, because as you can see, that 21-day EMA sometimes did act as a good area of support, so we cannot really exclude that for now. I mean, if it breaks it, of course, but looking at this picture, you can see the significance of that 21-day EMA. So this could be that little kind of pit stop where the index could take. But at the moment, guys, I would say like this, that if the index continues to struggle to overcome this 15,807 territory, then yep, maybe a bit of a correction lower here could be possible towards this 21-day EMA initially, and then we'll take it from there. If it falls further below that, still this whole move lower could be classed as a correction, because don't forget that overall we're still trading above this upside support line. Let me just adjust this very quickly. This upside support line taken from the low of the 19th of March, and then yeah, we'll take it from there if we see a test of it. But again, for that, guys, I mean, in order to consider that, I would need to see the index falling somewhere below the 15,456 territory, and that's from where I'll get a little bit more comfortable with a move, with a move here towards this upside support line. NASDAQ 100. So a creation of a new all-time high, and then a drift back below the previous all-time high. So basically, the theory that I've explained recently, and actually in one of my previous videos as well, that whenever we have something like this happening, it seems to be the case that we get a correction lower. So basically, what I mean is that whenever we have a new all-time high created, but then at the end of the day, the index still closes below the previous all-time high, well, I mean, we get ourselves maybe a bit of a corrective move lower. I mean, so far, history kind of showed that in most of the cases, but again, will it be this time the case? We'll just have to wait and see, guys. But again, for now, keep your eyes on this 14,891 territory right here. That's the high of that's the previous all-time high, the high of the 7th of July, and if this area somehow continues to provide resistance, then yes, a bit of a correction lower here could be possible. And looking at the cash index right now, we can see that the index is trading around 14,855 level, so basically below yesterday's close. And another thing, of course, we might be getting ourselves here a possible kind of doji or shooting star. I mean, here basically a possible reversal signal on the daily chart. But again, will that happen? Again, don't really purely rely on this. I mean, just like I said, take everything with a pinch of salt, and keep your eyes on the previous all-time high here near the 14,891 zone. If we climb above it, then yes, we'll aim for the upside again. But if we stay below it, then I'll aim for this upside support line taken from the low of the 19th of May. Another index, and this is a dollar index. As you can see, we have pushed higher, and of course this strength here came in after the indices drifted to the downside a little bit yesterday, and yep, most importantly, that we managed to break above this downside line and stay above this downside line taken from the high of the 25th of September. So for now, I would say that if by any chance the index climbs back and stays above the 92.74 territory, then yes, we'll aim for the upside here. For now, it's a tricky one here. So if we, like I said, if we climb back above this barrier, then yes, I'll aim for the upside. And initially, what I'm going to do here is I'm not going to drag this one way too much to the upside here. But I'm just going to target the 93.44 zone right here, marked by the highest point of March. Looking at gold, and here we have a bit of a let's say contradiction here a little bit. So so the dollar index is pushing a little bit higher, but gold is also trying to keep up, and is also moving a little bit north here. However, still it's getting a hold up near this downside line taken from the high of the 7th of August. So in a way, what I mean here is that if this area somehow continues to provide resistance, still there is a chance for a decline, especially if the dollar index starts popping even further north. But if of course, if the dollar index reverses heavily south, then, well, I mean, gold could eventually break this this downside line and push through this 1818 barrier right here. Jumping into silver, also a bit of an unclear situation here, so I'm still keeping an eye on this 25.71 territory for the downside, and for the upside I'm looking at this 26.73 zone. So although we could be missing out here on a bit of territory, I rather take a bit of a careful approach here, because again, I don't want to cut out here with any false breakouts. I would like to see the daily candle either staying above this 26.73 territory in order to get a little bit more comfortable with the upside, or staying below the 25.71 zone in order to aim for lower areas. Now, WTI Oil very quickly. So, this is the tricky bit. Now, we are climbing higher, but we're kind of struggling with this upside line, because it somehow acts as a kind of a resistance area, to be honest. And so far, I mean, we're just kind of testing this upside line from underneath. So yep, we're pushing nicely here to the upside. But yep, like I said, it's not a very confident move higher. So what I would like to see is a stronger move above this upside line, and then yes, higher levels could be met. But the further we go, actually, the more I'm kind of leaning towards this level here, the 76.8890 zone. So let's round it up here a little bit towards the 76.90. So if we clear that level, then yes, I'll aim for higher levels, because such a move here would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and potentially more buyers could join in here. So yeah, keep that in mind. But for the downside, now this is where a few adjustments have to be made in terms of levels. So yep, for the downside, probably I'm going to stick to this little hurdle, the 73.25, and if we that level, it marks the inside swing high here of the 8th of July, the low of the 12th of July. So yep, a good potential target here. But and also, if we break that, this would be placed below the 21-day EMA, and potentially more sellers could join in here. So yeah, keep that in mind. Now jumping into Bitcoin, here we have a declining crypto, and I said to you this recently, that in a way, for now, the cryptos are in a bit of a decline here. I mean, that there is, of course, certainly the stronger dollar is not helping them as well. But for now, looking at this picture on Bitcoin, in order to go for further declines, to be honest, probably I would prefer to wait for a drop below the 31,075 territory, somewhere around here, approximately around here, guys, because that's the low of the 8th of June. Also is near the low of the 25th of June, and yep, maybe this could open the door towards further declines. But the only thing is, why I'm saying is, I'm not really kind of let's say it's approximately around here, because still, don't get me wrong, I mean, we do have some of these levels here, that, for example, the low of the 26th of June, which also could play out, and that's, by the way, the lowest point of June. So there are some obstacles here still for the downside, even though we could break this 31,075 territory. So yep, if we break that, then yes, keep your eyes on these two levels. But if those two get cleared, now this is where it could become even better for the sellers. For the upside, for the buyers, well, I mean, a break of this, a break of the current highest point of this week near the 34,655 territory might do the trick for a few more buyers here, and that's because the rate the rate would be placed above the 21-day EMA as well, and potentially this could open the door towards maybe the 200-day EMA initially, or then towards the 41,273 level, marked by the highest point of June. So now jumping into a few currency pairs here, and you look at this beautiful, spectacular move here, and this is what I said to you guys yesterday actually, when I said that we need that daily candle to remain above the 1.0723 territory in order to go for higher levels, and this is one of those examples where, yep, we need to wait for that, because otherwise you can get something like this, and you can see that the pair is drifting heavily to the downside. We got received the interest rate decision from the New Zealand Central Bank, so the interest rates were kept the same. The bank sounded a little bit more hawkish, so this gave a bit of a boost here towards for the New Zealand dollar, and that's the result we're getting here right now. So we also fell below the 1.0658 zone. I'll still keep an eye on that one, because if by any chance the pair comes back above this barrier, then we'll just get a nice false breakout. But if the pair stays below this area, well, then further declines could be possible, guys, and then we will aim for that lowest point of May near the 1.06 territory. New Zealand dollar here, yep, New Zealand dollar against the US dollar, and yep, that's the result we're getting here. So you can see that for the downside, I've mentioned this one a while ago, this pair, and for the downside we needed to see the daily candle staying at least below this hurdle, below the lowest point of June. But as you can see, we only got it yesterday. We only got a false breakout below that level, and then we drifted back up. Now let's see if we can actually stay above this downside line, and also can we overcome this 200-day EMA together with a 21-day EMA. So for now, I'm gonna for the upside, I'm gonna stick to these two lines, basically to these two EMAs, and if we do stay above those, then well, I'll aim for higher levels. But if by any chance we drift back below the downside line, and this is gonna end up being just another false breakout, then well, I mean, maybe the downside is not off the table yet. US dollar against the JPY, the Japanese yen. So again, similar like with the WTI Oil, to be honest, this upside line is doing its job and kind of acting as a this upside support line. The previous upside support line that we looked here is acting now as a resistance area. So because we're testing it from there underneath, still the game plan remains like this. I mean, if we see continuation hold up here below this upside line, then yep, another slide could be possible, especially if the rate falls back below this 110.42 zone right here. And at the same time, it would place the pair below the 21-day EMA, and yep, this could open the door towards further declines, guys. For the upside, we would need to see a push above the 111 territory, and yep, then we could maybe consider some higher levels again. But at the moment, guys, it's kind of a no man's game here, and we're just observing the price action. GBPCAD, very quickly on this one. This looks a little bit more promising, to be honest, because first of all, we managed to stay above the 1.7260 territory, so that's kind of good news for the buyers, and this level continues to act as a good area of support. So maybe this arrow that I've drawn previously could work out, and if let's put it this way, as long as the pair trades above all of these EMAs here, yes, I'll continue targeting the upside. If it suddenly starts falling below all of them and falls somewhere below the 1.7193 zone right here, now that's where maybe I'll consider a move back down here, and then we'll take it from there, of course. Euro against the South African Rand. So this is what I talked about yesterday, guys, and this is what I've mentioned to you recently, basically a pair to keep an eye on. So for now, so yesterday we were trading around here, but I said that in a way, due to the certain situation right now in the country, the rand could continue taking a hit. So, and you can see exactly this happening. So the here, for example, the rand against the euro, we are seeing that the South African currency is devaluating, and slowly, of course. It's not something really, let's say, drastic here, but the fact that it's kind of devaluating the ups, I mean, and it could continue doing that unless some sort of stability comes back into the country. So be very careful here for now. For now, I'm leaning still a little bit more towards the upside. My next initial target is the 17.49 territory, approximately around here, or this 200-day EMA, which also sometimes does its job. For example, like it did here back in March, where the pair tested the 200-day EMA and then kind of drifted back down. So again, we're very close to that 200-day EMA. We're above the 21-day and the 100-day EMA. So in a way, there are a few indications that a further move higher could be possible here. And finally, EURUSD. So here we have a pair which drifted back below this 1.1836 territory. So basically, guys, I mean, at the moment, what I said to you yesterday, that if it falls below that 1.1836 zone, my next target is the 1.1780, which we managed to reach perfectly. So that's a good achievement, good result. Now we're getting a slight hold up here near this area. My question here right now, will it continue sliding? Now, in terms of levels, now this is where I'm going to probably remove this level because we kind of violated it, and what I'm going to stick to right now is this, the low of yesterday near the 1.1772 zone. It's not far from that previous level, but nevertheless, just to kind of mark it, just to be a little bit more accurate and careful. So if we want to aim for the downside, wait for a drop below this hurdle, below the 1.1772, and then we could aim for that lowest point of March. But if we struggle to push below this area, then certainly we're not excluding the possibility of seeing a move back up here, but it could still be classed as a temporary correction. So, but nevertheless, so we could still squeeze something out of it. So basically, if it climbs back up somewhere above this 1.1836 territory right here, which I previously looked at as a temporary support, if we climb back above it, then yes, I'll aim for slightly higher levels. So let's see how this is going to play out. So yeah, guys, also in terms of economic data, guys, I mean, keep an eye on the calendar, of course. I mean, also check out the daily review here, which we also produce. So it will be available later on. So from our head of research, Haralambos Pisaros. So you can check out the kind of the fundamental side of the whole market for today. So yep, check that out later on. It will be available on YouTube as well. So so yeah, guys, I hope you found this session useful. So thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your time. I really do. So so yeah, guys, have a wonderful trading day. Stay safe, and I'll see you tomorrow at my Traders Espresso, 6 o'clock GMT time. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.